your lesson today. What do you want to do? So what's the idea?
Work on roundabouts.
Okay, what do you want to do in roundabouts?
Just like know when to just wanna know when to move or just like know what lane, what jump, like what exit and move.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
And dual carriage when I'm changing lanes. Just
Okay.
wanna work on that because I know my speed and everything.
Okay. Now, do you know? Let's break both these things down. Let's work on the easiest one first, which is your lane change.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me what you want to fix in your lane change.
Because I know every time I go to some dual carriage when I'm changing lanes, like my speed, it just goes low. You know what I mean? Like I just and obviously I affect traffic behind me as well. Like slow down. Slow down.
Okay. So in what way? How do you affect traffic behind you?
Because obviously I take my foot off the gas and I don't.
Okay. So perhaps that's one way of you fixing that by not taking your foot off the gas. Yeah. Okay. What else affects you when you are changing lanes? So when you're going ahead along this road and you're traveling and we're going wherever we are going, and I say to you, okay, you need to be in the lane on the right, or you decide you need to be in the lane on the right, how are you working out what you're doing?
Mirror checks.
Okay. Are you making the mirror checks before you make the mirror checks to change lanes?
Before as well.
Okay. So then when you look in the mirror, what are you looking for?
Like
When you're
traffic coming on the way on my right.
okay. So let's say, for example, we're doing a lane change. So we're on this road and we're about to do a lane change. Now, if we're doing a lane change, when you look in the mirror, what are you looking for before you look in the mirror? To give you an example of that, let's say you're hungry. So when you go to the kitchen, you're not going to look for a spanner, you're going to look for some food, whatever food is. Then you'll get panicative and then you choose the food that you want. So before you look in the mirror, what's your idea of what you need to be looking for? So you're looking in the mirror. The purpose behind it is for
See that like
yeah, a car, a bus, a lorry, whatever vehicle. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Then when you look at the vehicle, what's the purpose of looking at the vehicle? It's to see how far the vehicle is from you. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look in the mirror, you want to see how far the vehicle is from you.
Yeah.
Then, how would you know that the vehicle is getting closer to you? It's not a silly question.
You can just see them
Go on.
getting.
You're doing it with your hand. When it's getting closer.
It's getting closer.
So how would you know that the vehicle is getting closer? It's not a silly question. How would you know it's getting closer to you?
You can just see the mirror like they just.
Go on with your hand, you show me now.
It's getting closer.
So it's getting closer,
Yeah.
so that means it's getting bigger.
Bigger.
There we are. That's how we work out. So before I look in my mirror, I know that when I look in my mirror to see, can you do me a favor? Can you turn that back windscreen wiper off? Can you remember how to do it? That button, twist it to 0.
Okay.
There.
That's to take it off.
That's right, it's turned it off now. Okay, so when you're driving and you're looking in the mirror, you want to make sure that when you see the vehicle, if the vehicle is getting bigger, it's getting closer. If the vehicle is getting smaller, yeah, you show me with your hand, it's getting small, it's going further back. Yeah. Okay, what affects, like their speed will affect you,
Yeah.
but what will make that vehicle artificially get bigger? Your
When I'm changing lanes.
no, your
Speed.
there.
Yeah.
So when you slow down, that vehicle gets bigger.
Mm.
When you speed up, the vehicle gets smaller.
Definitely.
You're affecting it. So it's very important that you keep your speed at one speed.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you look in the mirror, because when you're making the assessment, you must make sure your speed's the same. Now, what would affect your speed when you're in your lane? So when you're looking the right door mirror, or when you're looking to change lanes, assuming you're moving to the right, first of all, it would be the vehicles on your right.
Yeah.
What ahead of you could affect your speed?
The cars as well that's in front of me.
Yeah, a car in front of you. Also, let's say something in front of the cars that would make them stop. What could it be? They change colour automatically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, traffic lights.
Okay.
So before I even change lanes, I look in front of me and I look to see if there's any traffic lights, see if there's any filters, see if there's any vehicles that broke down, see if there's anything ahead of me. Because whatever is going on there is going to affect me even when I make my change, when I make my lane change. So if I'm making my lane change, that will affect me. It'll also affect them. It'll affect the way I make my lane change, because if that light goes red, if the vehicle is approaching, he's going to slow down to approach to go into that lane. Does that make sense? Yeah. Then as I'm traveling, as I'm going along the road, as I'm looking in my right door mirror at the vehicle on the right, I'm looking at why he'd slow down, why he'd speed up. Then let's discuss where you make the lane change. Where should you make the lane change reasonably? When should you make it? Oh, I tell you what, when shouldn't you make it? When should you not make the lane change?
If you see like the car on your right, like getting close and they're like...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if they're getting closer.
Okay, that's fine. When they're getting closer. I mean, that'd be pretty silly if we made that lane change then, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. What would make them accelerate when they're in their lane? So you're traveling along a road, you're moving off, you're stopping, you're at a set of traffic lights, you've just gone around a corner. What would make them accelerate? So you know when you're driving this car, instead of maintaining a constant speed, when would you start accelerating when you're driving? Generally speaking, so let's say you're on a road. At some point you've got to stop. Then if you stop, you've got to move off. So don't make the lane change when you're just moving off. When you're just moving off. So let's say you got to a set of traffic lights and the road bends to the left or to the right. Normally, remember you're learning to drive and they've passed their test, so they've got some experience. So let's say, for example, as you're going around the corner, you stop at set traffic lights, and then when you turn left and you go around the corner, they're giving enough gas to get around the corner. Then when they straighten up, then they'll give more gas to accelerate. And that's the point that you usually change lanes. That's the key point. This is what's making you think like, oh my goodness, I'm not good at these lane changes. It's because you're making them at the wrong time. Do you understand what I'm saying to you there? So when you're making your lane change, so let's say for example you're traveling, you're going along the road and you decide for some reason you need to make a lane change. Before you make the lane change, make sure your road doesn't bend. Make sure you're doing it on a straight path. If it's not straight, avoid doing the lane change. Try and avoid doing it on a corner. It's not safe, and have more experience before you do it. Okay, when you're making a lane change, make sure the speed is appropriate for what you're doing. So if it's raining, it will affect your speed. If it's snowing, it'll affect your speed. It'll affect how you turn, especially your steering. Now, the faster you drive in some cars, the less responsive your steering is. That's how new cars are designed. Now, in terms of when you make the lane change, the steering wheel, if we imagine a clock face, there's 12 hours to a clock face, yeah, a Roman clock. Okay, can you show me where 3 o'clock is on your steering wheel? Lovely. Can you show me where 12 o'clock is? Brilliant. Can you show me where 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock is? That's 1 o'clock. That's 2 o'clock, yeah. Can you show me where 1 o'clock is again? And with your left hand, can you show me 12 o'clock? Brilliant. How many, I'm not being patronizing, follow my lead, okay? How many minutes in that segment there? So do you know between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock? How many minutes on a Roman clock face would you see? How many ticks are there normally?
5, isn't it?
I'll show you on my wristwatch there. So that's 12 o'clock, that's 1 o'clock. So it's usually about, did you say 5? There's 5, isn't there? Do you know with your right hand, can you show me the 5 marks on the clock? So do you know with your right hand, move it up, show me where number 1 is, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, You should never move the steering wheel more than 3 minutes on a clock face.
3 minutes.
When you're changing lanes. Okay? So do you know, no more than that.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Exactly. Yes.
I do.
So you shove the wheel 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's it.
Bang on.
So what you should be doing is moving it to 1 minute, 2 minute, then 3 minute. Not from 12 to 3 minutes. Understand what I've just said to you?
No.
So you move it to 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute.
Slowly.
I'm not going to say your mum or dad because I know they don't drive, but you know, like your uncle, he moves it to 1 minute only. You watch your uncle. You sit in the car with any of your, not your friends. Your friends will drive like me, but you know, let's say you sat with me and I wasn't teaching. I move it 1 minute only. That's it, and let the car do the work.
Okay.
So we only move it 1 minute on a clock face only. Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you realise the car will do it.
Exactly.
Just at the moment, it's like, oh my goodness, come on, turn, I need to get in. Then you realise, oh, I don't need to do this. I can do it slower.
Yeah.
And this is where you're going wrong with your lane change. I call it shoving. So I say, let's stop, zigzagging. So we use different examples so people understand. But you should only be moving the steering wheel 1 minute on a clock face and letting the car do the work. That means your turning angle will be 25 degrees. So it doesn't matter, I'm trying to find different ways of kind of explaining it to you. So 25-degree angle rather than a 40-degree angle. So you're coming over in a V shape, you're going like this.
Yeah.
I come over at 1 minute clock face. Okay, so with all that information in terms of how you do your lane change, it's your mirror signal, get close to that line. If you're going less than 40 miles an hour, quick blind spot check. If you're going over 40 miles an hour, do not do a blind spot check. Not.
Over 40.
Yeah, don't do a blind spot check because you don't have enough time.
Okay.
Very quickly the situation changes ahead of you.
Yeah, it does.
You will not have time. So you check your mirrors, signal, once it's safe, you make effective observations. I'll use that word loosely. And then you go across. Now, don't get scared with your steering. Just move it 1 or 2 minutes, that's it.
I do that.
And let the car gently slide in. Once it goes into that lane, once all 4 wheels are in, cancel the signal, look in your inside mirror, and then straighten the car up, and then carry on doing whatever you're doing. Now, if you can't do that before the point that you need to turn wherever you're turning, then you're doing it too late. Yeah, simple as that. Now, if you cannot do the lane change that you want to do, and you feel that you need to do it, and you can't do it there, what should you do?
Just carry on as normal.
You will not fail your driving test. So make sure that when you do the lane change, you do it safely, you give yourself enough time. You're an inexperienced driver. That's not, nobody is saying that you are a silly person. Nobody's saying that you're stupid or you're incapable, or you're incompetent. You're just inexperienced. And that takes time. You need to understand that nobody's saying that you're thick. Nobody's saying that you're stupid. We're just saying that you're inexperienced. Give yourself a bit of time to work out what you need to do. Do you understand what I've said to you there? So that's the first thing. Now, that's our discussion on lane changes. So first of all, decide whether you need to do it. And then can you just briefly tell me how you're going to do it so we're in agreement? So what would you do first? Let's say you are going to do the lane change. So what would you look out for?
For cars, but I'd make sure they're not getting, it's not getting bigger for them, they're not getting close. If they're not, then I'll just make my mirror checks, signal, and then that's when I'll do a steer, but only by 3 minutes, by 3 minutes.
Yeah, no more than 3 minutes,
more
yeah?
than 3 minutes.
Okay, that's good. That's lovely, okay? Now, do you know, if you are thinking, I'm going to do my lane change, but signal as soon as you think, right, I'm going to do a lane change. As soon as.
Okay.
The reason for that is if you're going to signal at the point you're going to do your lane change, you won't have enough time.
Yeah.
And then you're going to argue with yourself, do I do the lane change or not? And you'll get into a vicious cycle of always telling yourself no. The easiest thing to say to yourself is no. Okay? Now that we've discussed lane changes, now discuss with me roundabouts. So what's the problem with your roundabout, or what do you think is your problem with your roundabout?
Just like sometimes I just stay in too late. Like I miss out so many
Opportunities.
opportunities.
Okay. When you go home, I want you to look at that YouTube video we did yesterday. Okay. So I sent you a link there. I want you to see that. That should answer every single question you have. If it doesn't, we still have a lesson with you before you test. I'll go through that with you.
That's perfect, yeah.
Okay, but for me to see now, when you say is it the opportunity to go that you're missing?
Yeah.
Okay, Amber, can I have my iPad a minute, please? Pull the screen off. I don't need the rest. Hold that. Okay, so there we are, a live video. You know, I need one of them mounts for an iPad. Let me just. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got a car turning right at a roundabout, yeah? So we've got one first of all here, turning left. This is standard roundabout. Now, if, let's say for example, there's a car on a car turning left here, okay? Let's say this is you, when he comes out, you would only come out if he is anywhere here and you know he's turning left, you can go.
Anyway, yeah.
You can go, there isn't a problem. However, let's say for example he is going ahead and you are here, you would have to yield.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the red car.
Exactly, yeah.
Otherwise that happens, yeah? That's Bradford Drive.
He'd have the signal on as well.
Yeah, he is, yeah. But like here, you can see here that he's got enough time to get out there. That would be unacceptable for a test. That would be unacceptable for a test.
Okay.
You could not do that for a driving test.
So
you'll see at some point, he's going to have an accident there. At some point you have an accident. So it's important, if he is going, let's resume him. Let's leave him there for a second. So it's important that if you're turning left and he's coming, that is safe. That's okay. And you'll see, look, he's going, at some point he'll catch up. Look, he's getting closer at his pace. Now the third time he'll probably catch him. There. Almost. The fourth one definitely. Eventually catches him up. So that's you, the blue car, and there, look. He's going to have a bump.
Yeah.
There. And it happens. So it's important that when you're going, that you have a safe gap. So let's say, for example, he's there. Ooh, let's get rid of that car. Let's make him resume. So he's out of there. And that's you. So if that car is there and he's going ahead, it doesn't matter where you are on the roundabout, you must yield. You have to give way to that car. No matter what you do, you have to give way.
Like going ahead.
Well, if you're turning left.
Yeah.
If you're turning left, you have to give way to him. Doesn't matter where he's going, because look, if you're turning left here and you are anywhere, let's say for example you are here. Now if you both go at the same time, you're just gonna have an accident. You won't get away with that on your test.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're guaranteed an accident, guaranteed. And that there, you'll look, both of them two are at the same speed. So do you know, in terms of the speed that they're both at, it's exactly the same. Do me a favour, film this for me. So you're both at the same speed. So over here, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference how fast you go. So over here, you'll see that it doesn't matter what point he comes out, you're gonna crash, because that's subjective to the speed that you're traveling at. Now, if you're traveling at 5 miles an hour and he's traveling at 15, you have a problem. And this is just a small roundabout. So let's now, let's get rid of him. And now let's say he's turning right. So let's say if you're turning left and he's turning right, unacceptable, you're going to have an accident. So it's important that if you're in the left lane and you are turning left, it doesn't matter where he's going on the right. If he's coming onto the roundabout and he has no reason to stop, you must give way to him. You must. Now, let's say for example over here there is somebody going ahead. So let's resume him. Now, if let's say there's a white car coming down this road over here, this one here, and let's say for example that's us, so let's get rid of us for a second and let's move him out of the way as well. Now, we don't affect each other, but these two do. Now, the white car would have to, the yellow car has to give way to him. So it doesn't matter what the white car does, he must give way to the white car. That means if you know he's coming onto the roundabout here, you know he has to wait there for the blue car to go. So the blue car is not affected by the yellow car if the white car is here.
Yeah.
So while you're looking to your right, you also need to look ahead of you. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? So let's now for a second, let's get rid of him. So over here, you two are not affecting each other. So the blue car and the white car don't affect each other. So it's perfectly reasonable for both of you two to continue with your journeys. You don't affect each other. Now it gets more complicated when another car comes from here. So if this is happening, this is safe. Then, so let's get rid of the white car for a second. Let's introduce him back again. So him, no matter what you're doing, you have to wait for the yellow car. Are we clear with that? Yeah. Then over here, let's say for example, there's a car coming here. So let's say the purple car. Now the purple car doesn't affect you. So doesn't matter what you do on the roundabout, you can carry on. Because you two don't affect each other. He has to give way to you. So when you're approaching the roundabout, he has to make sure that you're not affecting each other. Now he's signalling right. For some strange reason, now he's signalling left. So he's signalling left and he's turning left. You are over here. You don't affect each other. So we're not bothered about him. So even if he's turning right, like he's doing now, it doesn't... Let me make sure he turns right this time. So he's turning right, we're turning left. We do not affect each other. It makes no difference to us whatsoever what he's doing. So we're not bothered about him for a second, okay? So now what we're going to do, we're going to bring this man down again and we're going to have him turning right. Now, once he gets here, we need to give way to him. So we are here, we are watching him. Now, once he's turning right here, like he's doing now, I have to give way to him from here because he's coming round. The highway code teaches you if he's on the roundabout, you must give way to him. So over here, I'm going to have an accident now because I'm very close to him. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I shouldn't have gone. I should have let him go. So we're going to let him carry on. And you need to find a safe gap. Now, over here, the safe gap for you would be, he would have to be here to carry on. So if he's here, you can go. Once he's there, it's too late. You must wait. So once he's here, you must wait. Because he's here now. By the time you move off, it's too close. You will fail your driving test. Does that make sense? If he's over there. This is a small mini roundabout I'm referring to. Okay, it's only a small one. And you'll see that you've got to go quick round the roundabout because he's coming round. Okay, so now let's bring this up to a roundabout that you're talking about now. So you know the big roundabouts here. So what we're going to do here, we're going to put him on a left turn here. So he's turning left, and let's say for example, let's bring a car over here turning right. So he's turning left over here and he is going ahead. And you'll see at the moment there's no big deal. Now this car, he'll come out in a second, that's wrong now, because that red car was past this point here.
He should have stopped.
Yeah. So once he's past this point here, can't even ride it for some reason. Right, you're not supposed to come onto the roundabout. Now let's say for example this red car here, let's let him turn right. So he's turning right here. So let's say there's a car coming out of, let me just reset this for a second. I haven't played with this for a long time. So we can see him turning left and we can see him turning right. You're not affecting each other. The only thing you need to watch out for is over here, you need to maintain your lane. You are slightly weak with that. So you'll see, look, each one has his own lane. You need to make sure that you hold your lane, especially if you're turning right. That's why you need to bring your hands up on the wheel. Now let's say for example there's a car from over here going ahead. So let's play him on repeat. Now if you are going right, you mustn't come out if he's here. So once you are here and you're coming out, you need to wait for him. Otherwise, look, you'll bump into each other and you always have a fender bender. So it's important that once you are here and he is anywhere there, you must yield. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? So what we need to do now is we need to go into some roundabouts. We could sit here, we could discuss this for hours, and we're not going to see any tangible sort of effort yet until we actually go into a roundabout and practice. Okay, so what you and I are going to do now is we're going to, Amber, grab that for me please. We're going to go onto a roundabout and we're going to practice some roundabouts together. Yeah, let's see how we kind of get on. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right, get yourself ready. We'll move off when you're ready, and we'll deal with some roundabouts.